A very good evening to you. You're live here on GHOne TV. This is News Tonight. I'm Natalie Fort. Let's take a look at our top stories. Former Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia apologizes for mistakes of the MPP government, promises not to repeat them if elected as president.
Vice President, ministers, MPs, board chairman, appointees, from so pacho
Central Regional Minister Eko Penin Otre assures the people of Komenda of government's commitments to reviving the Komenda Sugar Factory and Landing Beach. Also ahead in business, Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies hints on price hikes at the local pumps come September 16, 2025.
From the outlook, you already see that the city has depreciated a bit, which will obviously affect the pricing from Monday.
Later in business, President Mahama says importation of poultry products will cease after 3 years of implementation of the Nkoko Nkete Nkete program.
Stop bringing Nkoko Funu from outside.
On the foreign front, UN General Assembly overwhelmingly backs the Palestinian conflict. You're watching News Tonight here on GHOne TV. Let's get started this evening with the Ashanti Regional Branch of the Pro-New Patriotic Party, MPP group, Bold Patriotic Alliance, which has declared its support for former Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, urging delegates to elect him as the party's flag bearer for the 2028 general elections. The group made the declaration at Ibuakwa in the Ashanti region during Dr. Bawumia's campaign tour of the Itrima in Nyabueja constituency as part of his bid to lead the MPP once again.
The MPP's flag bearer in the 2024 elections, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, is seeking re-elections to lead the party into the 2028 polls. On Wednesday, September 10, 2025, the former vice president began his tour of the region to solicit delegates' votes in support of his comeback bid. At Ibuakwa, where he met with delegates from the zone, members of the Ashanti Regional Branch of the Bold Patriotic Alliance openly declared their support for him. The group maintained that Dr. Bawumia stands tall among all the candidates who have so far filed nomination forms to contest the party's primaries.
When you look at our political dynamics, you have to consider a lot of factors before you present a candidate. And then when you look at most of these factors, we think that Bawumia is not perfect. Bawumia is not a perfectionist. However, Bawumia stands tall among the rest. One, because election is all about numbers. When you look at our political landscape, you realize that consistency is very key. Bawumia, we've presented Bawumia. He is not only championing the economic aspect, but the digital aspect. Now, there is no nation that can thrive without the digital economy. And Bawumia has shown incredible expertise in terms of that.
The secretary of the group, Francis Edu Owusu, also stated that after monitoring the campaign messages of all aspirants in the presidential primaries, the group is convinced that Dr. Bawumia's vision for constituency and party development is unmatched.
I strongly believe that the ideas of Dr. Bawumia that he has for the entire delegates, I think that would be the best if we choose him to be our candidate, because he has assured us that he is going to give an appointment of 10 people from each constituency, of which that is going to benefit each and every one delegate within the constituency. And if you have 10 appointments from your constituency, it clearly tells you that you can quickly go to any other member from your constituency who has already been appointed, so that you can offer you help that you need.
A member of the group, Abdul Rahman, explained that although the individuals contesting Dr. Bawumia held various positions in the immediate past MPP administration, none of them can match the achievements of the former vice president.
Come January 31st, 2026, we want all delegates that will be going to the polls to vote for Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, because he is the only candidate that can grant us victory in the 2028 general election. The NDC will be presenting a new candidate who they have to market it to Ghanaians. And then Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has already been marketed. And then we just need 9%. That is why we are saying that I can't 9% near Timaba power.
Meanwhile, the former vice president and New Patriotic Party's flag-bearer hopeful, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has tendered an apology to party members for the mistakes made during the MPP's tenure in government. Speaking on a campaign tour in the Ashanti region, he expressed his commitments to learning from past errors and promised to do better in the future. Dr. Bawumia offered the apology as he solicited votes for the MPP flag-bearer contest, scheduled for January 2026.
Yetu abayewie ye research ewie yenim se aban ene ye party yaye mfomso bebre ewo ye governance no mo niema wo ho a afise ye beye yanye ye mebi tu wo ho a ye a anka ye hu from the background so a ye enti mejina ha ye nyina ye ka ho bi. Vice President, ministers, MPs, board chairman, appointees, yenyina yayem from so pacho momfanche and why momfanche yenyina yaya from so na yesua your lessons. Nyame adom ena mode franka ne hyemensa me be ye president embasabium ya belle ni your lessons momfanche embasabium.
Well, let's turn to some other news now. As president of the Center for Citizen Empowerment and Conflict Resolution, Consultant Alex Nate Esquire has criticized the Bono Regional Minister's threat to arrest chiefs involved in disputes. He said this approach as the first resort is not only disrespectful to the institution of chieftaincy, but also counterproductive to peace building. According to Mr. Nate, a veteran alternative dispute resolution expert, the approach to conflict resolution should emphasize dialogue, mediation, negotiation, and consensus building rather than coercion or punitive threats. He emphasized that matters involving traditional authorities require inclusive engagement and respect for customary processes alongside state mechanisms. He further said that the Chieftaincy Act of 2008, Act 759, and the Constitution of Ghana provide clear institutional frameworks for the resolution of disputes. Well, let's get onto the phone lines now and engage with him. That's the president of the Center for Citizen Empowerment and Conflict Resolution, Alex Nate Esquire. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining us here on News Tonight. Now, you have explicitly said that, in your view, this position taken sort of undermines the institution of chieftaincy. Why exactly do you feel that the threat to arrest chiefs involved in disputes undermines the chieftaincy institution?
Thank you very much. Let me say good evening to your cherished viewers. Yes, I am saying so because first and foremost, we must concede that conflict or peace and security is part of the development that we are seeking for our nation. And just as in technology, you require certain scientific approach to putting up a system that will work for you, so also in conflict management, you need to adopt the right protocols and processes to get the results you are looking for. chieftaincy is very, very critical in our governance. In fact, chieftaincy preceded contemporary politics. And there is no way we can achieve anything better if we don't strengthen our chieftaincy system. We must now see that all over the country, we have chieftaincy challenges. These challenges are now culminating into the kind of crisis that the regional minister is complaining about, because government over the years has ignored what it needs to do to strengthen our chieftaincy system. Currently, the problem we have for our chieftaincy system is that we need to have the chiefs, the traditional sector, to codify our lineage system. We need to also codify our land boundary system and make sure that confusion over who takes over from whom, which land belongs to which traditional area and all that, must be captured properly so that people can defend and protect their lineages and boundaries. We haven't been able to do that. And so, as we seek to intervene as the regional minister sought to do, which I believe and concede falls rightly under his jurisdiction, we must not take the issues for granted, because people in conflict think that they have a justification for whatever they do. And so those of us who see that their reactions is creating problems in terms of confusion and conflict must identify with them and provide the necessary support to address the problem. And so for the minister to say that any chief who creates such a situation will be arrested is troubling, and we must call upon him, if possible, to withdraw the statement and find a better way to handling the matter. The regional minister is a major key stakeholder in the peace and security architecture of the region. The Regional Peace Council falls under him. And if there is any such issue, he is supposed to engage the existing structures to determine early warning signs and how we can properly intercept the issues for harmony and development in the region, and not to issue threats. We cannot rely upon adversarial approaches and expect to have issues of this nature resolved. And that is why we are calling upon all stakeholders, including regional ministers who have conflicts, chieftaincy conflict in their regions, to actually take their time to understand contemporary ways of handling disputes than to use the adversarial systems which have already failed us and we are seeking to provide antidotes for.
Very well. So, Alex Nate Esquire, thank you very much for your time and insights this evening on this issue. More on that subsequently. In some other news here on News Tonight, students of Warren Nyanga in the Tempani district now have access to a fully furnished ICT laboratory to enhance teaching, learning and innovation. The facility, commissioned by the Member of Parliament for Tempani and Minister for Public Sector Reforms, Lydia Lamisi Adaku-Dugu, is expected to transform education in the area by providing modern tools for research, digital literacy and skills development.
Education in Wariyanga has received a major boost with the commissioning of the Yamoransa Model Lab 15 ICT Hub, spearheaded by the Helping Africa Foundation. The facility houses a 64-seater computer lab, a robotics lab, and a 100-seater conference room. Tempani MP and Minister for Public Sector Reforms, Lydia Lamisi Akanvariba Adakudugu, also presented checks worth over 193,000 cedis in support of education. This included 100,000 cedi in scholarship for 50 tertiary students, 50,000 cedis to the Education Office for Operations, 43,200 cedis for the re-roofing of Pipira Primary School, and laptops for visually impaired students.
I am busy in Parliament lobbying to continue with the 2 chiefs compounds. Very soon we'll be getting a 6-unit classroom block. A host of projects are coming. Don't feel that you are left out. All the communities are in my head, from Congo to Tambalok, from Rwakopar to Busum, from Basonde Taravang to Kumpayong.
District Chief Executive Joseph Imbila and Acting GES Director Philip Alali both praised the facility as a timely intervention, stressing its role in equipping students with digital skills essential for today's world.
The world is evolving at a rapid pace, and the skills our children need to succeed are also changing. This ICT lab will provide them with the tools they need to thrive.
ICT drives the world today. And when you have the opportunity to have an ICT project, it means you are part of the world today. The students should take the project very seriously.
Project manager Musa Abdullahi encouraged residents to embrace the new ICT lab and take good care of it for sustainability.
This is one of the most important projects in the district, and we are going to monitor it and take good care of it. I'm also urging the students to take care of the place, especially the caretaker teachers, and make the project a lifelong one.
For students, teachers, and researchers, this means no more trips to other districts in search of internet access.
The Agona West Member of Parliament, Ernestina Ofori-Dangbe, has urged 104 newly recruited community police and fire assistants to maintain discipline, avoid substance abuse, and reject any form of extortion as they embark on their security service careers. She commended the President's dedication to youth empowerment and job creation as effective strategies for tackling unemployment nationwide.
At the inauguration ceremony for the recruits under the Youth Employment Agency program, the Member of Parliament for Agona West, Ernestina Ofori-Dangbe, emphasized the need for integrity and high moral standards in their duties. She issued a strong warning against the use of drugs, particularly marijuana, and the abuse of alcohol. She emphasized that such behavior is entirely unacceptable within the police and fire services. She further cautioned the recruits against extorting money from citizens during their duties, noting that such misconduct has the tendency to erode public trust in the security services.
Ana ntampi na shikakra metutu asro sisi abebi akwa akwose no eye ebi a oye very decent the menu oma no wonye no nti se hia imprempren de enene nye bye no be ya reho be ye nimwase de wo be hu de police ni ana community police na sebe ewo we base and ewo base bi na erishin tampi ana de richa kakra mesre Ebinom si gise wobu ana wedidi obi nso so obetwa kakra na odi akọ office dem nyoma ni nyina ombo wo hu dem a wedwuma no obebo efise obi nso so yeden epe ahye watare ni ti hwe ohuru ye na ma wakoma indi wedwuma na enya na echi na nyoma kese ewo homa.
On his part, Divisional Commander for Agona Swedro, Chief Superintendent Douglas Kuma, advised the recruits to respect their superiors and uphold professionalism in their assigned stations.
Community police in fire for move boy. Nanso I thought that I'm going to say, it's the betum for the Samabano station. Be a do take instructions from police. take instructions from fire service. Mama yanya juma
The inauguration ceremony marks an important step in enhancing community policing and fire safety in the constituency through youth engagement.
You're watching News Tonight here on GHOne TV. Doris Bani, mother of 6-year-old Jaden Achampong, who suffered a hole in the heart condition 3 months after birth, now breathes a sigh of relief thanks to the Rotary Club of Accra Premier International. A successful surgery sponsored by the club in India has brought new life and enthusiasm to both the child and mother, with the mother emphasizing that she can now sleep peacefully at night. There's more in this report.
To Doris Bani, she noticed an unusual heartbeat in her child, Jaden Achampong, 3 months after giving birth to him. Tests at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital revealed a hole in the heart condition, which was surgically operated on in Ghana, but required further surgery abroad due to unavailability of the requisite equipment coupled with financial constraints. Doris, now a relieved mother, details the ordeal she endured for the past 6 years.
It was difficult, especially considering him to be my only child. It was very difficult. I remember when I got to work at Kaswa, the first few months, we couldn't go to work because he was sick almost always. You have to rush him to the hospital, always staying in the hospital like a week and so. But since we came back, we've had a steady, we came back like a month now, and we've not had any hospital experience. We just went for review.
President of the Rotary Club of Accra Premier International, Kailesh Karisa, says the essence of the club is to alleviate the sufferings of vulnerable individuals in situations beyond their capabilities, hence the assistance.
Today you have seen Jaden, how he is jumping around. He's healthy, and his mother also is feeling better. We have already interviewed her, and she has expressed her gratitude. And we as a Rotary Club, we are always looking out for this kind of opportunity that whatever resources we have, we reach out to the people who are in need of medical facility or educations or refurbishment of the schools or sponsoring some children's educations and all. As long as we are having the resources, we'll not step back. We'll keep on doing the things again and again.
The immediate past president of the club, Padmenaban Menon, calls on like-minded organizations to follow their example to make the world a better place.
Rotary is all about service. Service above self. That is Rotary's motto. There is no way that you can think about yourself or doing something to your favorites. It is not about that. And especially our Premier Club, we looking at anything that we can do in Ghana, not just one locality or one area. Anybody needs anything, whatever way we can. And we're thankful to all our sponsors.
Assorted gifts, including cash donations, were given by some individual members for Jaden's upkeep.
In other news, health experts are raising concern over the growing burden of atopic eczema, a chronic skin condition that affects more than 230 million people worldwide. Unfortunately, in Ghana, due to low awareness and stigma, people with the condition either hide themselves or resort to herbal medicine without proper diagnosis, leading to serious complications.
The World Health Organization describes atopic eczema, also known as atopic dermatitis, as the most common chronic inflammatory skin disorder. It is ranked as the 4th leading cause of non-fatal disability worldwide. Globally, the condition affects up to 20% of children and nearly 10% of adults, with cases on the rise, particularly among children and people with skin of color. This year's World Atopic Eczema Day, observed under the theme Our Skin, Our Journey, highlights the daily struggles of patients and the long-term effects of the condition and stigma.
You have those scaly skin, we call something incessant pruritus, whereby you are unable to sleep at night. It also have an economic burden on the family, and if for a student throughout the night you are scratching, your skin is itching you are scratching throughout the night. You go to school and you are unable to learn. So it affects the learner's ability to comprehend. Even their cognitive activity is affected.
In Ghana, the day was commemorated at Kukua, a farming community in Suhum municipality, where the ACT Development Organization, the Global Skin Organization, and the Ghana Health Service held a medical screening exercise and a football match to raise awareness.
Implementing skin anti-days within Eastern region, about 4 districts. And as part of it, through our monitoring, we came across this as a topic within the communities. So we have joined a global skin, as a global association, now ACT is a member. So as part of it, we have to celebrate every year to create awareness and do referrals and support those who are living with asthma atopic within the Suhum municipality and all the catchment area where we operate.
Some residents share they were ignorant about the condition, but the awareness has enlightened them.
So, a woman I call Binum swimming say, but send on Mukase Coco, I and any I say quite to be, I say, what it is, bear will be sad.
Pa, you say Yarua, where Yarabia mostly high and I won't cross it. Arsenal. Na Yariana Memusi Dia, Oba Huy and Honamano and Shada and then Tosso, and Tiana education now, Mabamano. The
World Health Organization says addressing the condition requires stronger healthcare systems, practical treatment guidelines, and global advocacy to ensure that patients receive the care they need.
Still on health, the management of the Orthopedic Training Center in Nsawam is raising concerns about the increasing number of young people suffering permanent disabilities as a result of commercial motorcycle, popularly known as Okada, accidents. The center wants government to initiate policies to enhance safety of Okada transportation.
The Orthopedic Training Center, established in 1961, provides specialized rehabilitation services for persons living with disabilities from Ghana and beyond. The facility currently runs an orthopedic clinic and workshop, a children's department, a prosthetics and orthopedic training college, as well as a daycare center for children living with cerebral palsy. But management is raising concerns over the increasing number of disability cases linked to Okada accidents, especially among children.
It ranges between children within the ages of from 6 years above who are coming with amputations. And most of it is due to the influx of the Okada transportation that is currently in Ghana. It's very appalling because most of the situations after these children have been knocked down, the riders don't even wait. They leave them there and it becomes a burden on parents to cater for their children. As I'm speaking to you, there's a child who just had surgery in St. Joseph's Hospital. He came here, we had to help support him because he was knocked down by an Okada rider. And even to be of help and support after they've done this, they don't. They leave, rush away, and leave these kids in such critical situations.
The center is also worried about cases of children living with disabilities being abandoned on the streets by their parents.
We also have a child currently in here who was abandoned way back in 2019, getting to the latter part of 2019. He was abandoned. We named him Abraham. He came with quite severe cerebral palsy. He couldn't really walk, no fine motor skills. And what happened is we had to give him therapy. We had to contact social welfare, get the police involved. But I said now, since 2019 till now, we don't even know the parents. And we call him Abraham because we gave him that name. We don't even know his name.
Director of the center, Reverend Sister Elizabeth Newman, who has dedicated over 40 years of her life to the institution, is urging government to fully implement disability policies to promote inclusivity and improve the welfare of persons living with disabilities.
I think what we have to change is an attitude that still goes around, that these children are not human, these children are not worthy, whatever it is. And particularly to teachers and professionals, because as I mentioned before, that I have had a hard time getting some children in school, and they use all kind of reasons why the child can't go to school. But the regular reason is teachers don't understand people with disabilities.
Meanwhile, the Kabaka Foundation, led by its founder, Nana Oreduwade I, has donated food items, toiletries, and stationaries to support the center's operations.
Be available to support you. I pray for God's grace to grant you all good health, to recover and be happy. God bless you all.
The GHOne Orthopedic Training Center attends to more than 7,000 patients every year.
In other stories, after years of enduring the deplorable 14.2-kilometer stretch, residents of Sumahu, Huniso, Pepesa and Tebe in the Prestia-Huni Valley municipality of the Western region can finally see light at the end of the tunnel. With the 63 million cedis investments committed to the road's reconstruction, the project is expected to be completed within the next 2 years, making the road fully motorable.
For years, residents of Sumehu, Huniso, Pepesa and Tebe in the Prestia-Huni Valley municipality of the Western region have struggled with deplorable road conditions severely affecting their livelihoods. Predominantly farmers and small-scale traders, these communities have long endured the consequences of poor infrastructure, including difficulty transporting goods and limited access to essential services. Despite occasional remedial works, the interventions have often been short-lived, offering little relief to road users. Many residents have lamented the persistent challenges, citing increased travel time, vehicle damage, and reduced economic activity as direct consequences.
As if the way my hand over. A coin day, a higher pa. Terebia, so be in your mutua's data, and I say, we are here, echo, a pen, temaco, clinica. Sena quantity, ye betcha, Kansua, and Sana, Veduana, Tama, Aquaja.
Oh, a quantity yet, a quantity yet. Now, Moya swap. Now, go face for no, Omodema contract, a contract, and Omodema. So, you say, I go, got a crown wine and Acha, why you and as say. No, we are no Secasa can send a fast to quite no money. And no problem, quite no money. Because cars papa be on faso. Cars and faso, higher cars be 2-3 dependent on so a money in the I knew I not say. Knew I not say. So, more some by idea.
In a bid to bring lasting change, the Goldfields Ghana Foundation has committed 63 million cedis to the full rehabilitation of a 14.2-kilometer road stretch connecting the affected communities. The project, when completed, is expected to significantly improve transportation, facilitate trade, and enhance access to social amenities. Speaking at a sword-cutting ceremony to kickstart the construction, Member of Parliament for Prestia-Huni Valley, Robert Wisdom Kujo, described the intervention as timely, saying it would alleviate the plight of his people and boost the local economy.
Very much, road is very, very important. You can't get to any place without road, and no business will thrive without road. So it's one of the challenges that we are facing in this constituency. Our communities are mostly rural and very far away from the centers. And they are all non-engineered roads. You understand? So Gophers coming at this time to tar this road for us or put bitumen surfacing on this road. It will go a long way to assist business, travelers, and almost they themselves. They are also going to benefit Gophers.
Executive Director of the Implementing Foundation, Abdul Razak Yakubu, also underscored the scope of the project.
So this is the Samahu Pepesa Road. It has been in quite a deplorable stage for a while.
It didn't used to be like this. The little bitumen you see on it was put there by GoFro's Ghana Foundation, but the quality of work that we did in the past, based on the resources we had, this is the best we could get. Now we are very excited that the trustees of the foundation have approved that we invest over 63 million Ghana cedis to just fix it once and for all, instead of the piecemeal approach that we were using in the past. This is going to be a double seal. Technically speaking, it's even triple. Consider the sub-base and all the other amenities that we are going to have.
The project is expected to be completed in phases, with local labor and resources being utilized as much as possible to create employment and enhance community ownership.
Let's head to the Bono region now, as the Shinyanin Municipal Assembly has launched a decongestion exercise to restore order and ease traffic within the central business district. The move comes in response to mounting concerns over human and vehicular congestion caused by traders, hawkers, and heavy trucks occupying roads and pavements.
A major decongestion exercise is underway within the central business district in Sunyani, the Bono regional capital. The initiative, led by the Municipal Assembly, is aimed at easing human and vehicular traffic caused by traders, hawkers, and heavy trucks loading and unloading goods in unauthorized spaces. Municipal Chief Executive Vincent Inchieje says the Assembly will no longer tolerate trading on pavements, street hawking, or indiscriminate parking.
So if we come and find items on the pedestrian walkway, quickly we will collect them, send them to the Assembly, and before you get them, there will be a fee that will be assigned to you to pay. There should be an undertaking that you sign that you will not repeat that wrong again. So anywhere that we witness or observe that there is a car parked, that the engine is off, such vehicles or the owners will be liable to pay the spot fine and the towing fee.
The MCE stressed that the exercise is going to be a sustained measure to safeguard lives, prevent accident, and create a more orderly city.
We will have a permanent team made up on the place to be sanitized, and even for the sake of their safety, public safety.
Vincent Inchieje urged traders, residents, and drivers to cooperate on making Sunyani safer for all.
The Ghana Police Service has arrested David Kojo Pra-Afu after he was captured in a viral video inciting violence against public officials and other government workers. According to the police, the arrest on September 13, 2025 followed sustained intelligence operations. The suspect is currently in custody and is expected to be arraigned before court. It will be recalled that David Kojo Pra-Afu recorded a video in which he urged the public to launch violent attacks on public officials, including ministers of state, the police service, the military, other security agencies, and journalists. In the video, he further incited the youth to embark on an arson spree, calling for state installations such as the Jubilee House, Parliament, embassies, and Electoral Commission, and markets, in addition to all government-registered vehicles, to be set ablaze. Afu also used vulgar and abusive language, openly daring those in authority to confront him. Investigations have established that he produced and circulated the viral video in multiple formats and at different times. Well, now let's watch excerpts from the viral video of David Kojo Pra-Afu.
The revolution they so. Revolution they are so cry. Men can that revolution they are so.
Tonight here on GH1 TV, we bring you business news next.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
In business tonight, President John Dramani Mahama has announced that 3 years after the implementation of the government's flagship poultry production program, dubbed Nkoko Nkete Nkete, Ghana will cease importing chicken from other countries. According to him, most imported chicken is generally genetically modified, which raises concerns about human health after consumption. The president made these comments during an inspection tour of the National Service Authority's demonstration farm at Hacho Papao in Accra. There's more in this report.
Based on data from the Ghana Statistical Service and other third reports for 2023, Ghana imported an estimated 180,000 to 224,000 metric tons of poultry meat, with frozen chicken cuts being the dominant category, amounting to $158.83 million. Delivering a speech during the inspection tour, the president emphasized that the Nkoko Nkete Nkete program will fill the gaps and prevent capital flight after 3 years of implementation.
We should be able to produce enough poultry to feed the whole of Ghana. Once the Nkoko Nkete Nkete project takes off, we believe that in 3 years we'll be producing almost 100% of the chicken that we eat in Ghana ourselves, so that we can stop bringing Nkoko Funu from outside. We don't know how those chickens were raised. In many of the countries, they use genetically modified chickens. In many of the countries, they inject the chickens with hormones. We want fresh, Ghanaian-grown chicken.
In her address, the Director General of the National Service Authority, Ruth Sedo, commended the President for his commitment to youth development through the National Service. She noted that the National Service is poised to ensure that every fresh graduate can earn a decent living, feed their families, and support their dependents.
We have designed a comprehensive integrated model that demonstrates a new pathway for poultry production. One of an enhanced sustainability, drastically reduced financial risk, and guaranteed multiple income streams for both producers and consumers. This will not merely be a farm. It is a fully vertically integrated system that masters the entire value chain, from cultivating our own maize and soy feed to producing and hatching fertilized eggs in-house, to raising and packaging premium broiler products, all under one roof and all at a cost that is fiercely competitive.
Youths are therefore encouraged to sign up for the Nkoko Nkete Nkete program to receive all necessary inputs free of charge, enabling them to venture into poultry production and become self-reliant.
In other business news, the Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah, has underscored the critical role of the civil service in the successful implementation of the government's 24-hour economy initiative. He made these remarks at a strategic integration workshop organized by the Secretariat to reflect on the collective role of state institutions in driving the president's agenda.
According to Mr. Deborah, the president's national reset agenda, particularly the 24-hour economy policy, cannot succeed without a responsive, coordinated, and professional civil service. He explained that while political leadership changes with electoral cycles, the civil service serves as the anchor for continuity, preserving knowledge, records, and processes to ensure stability in governance.
Think about countries that have successfully transformed their economies. Singapore, South Korea, Malaysia, etc. Their political leadership provided the vision, but it was the civil service that operationalized that vision to ensure consistency across decades and institutionalized reforms. Ghana cannot be different. The civil service must be the steady hand that keeps the 24-hour agenda on course, even as government changes and new priorities emerges.
The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiamas, explained that the 24-hour economy envisions an agriculture sector that processes through the night, factories that run around the clock, and a service sector that responds swiftly to the needs of citizens and investors. He stressed that such an approach would expand opportunities for businesses and generate sustainable employment, particularly for the youth.
For the Bank of Ghana, this initiative matters to us deeply. A successful 24-hour economy requires not just energy and infrastructure, but also financing systems that keep pace with new patterns of production and trade. It will require banks and fintechs to extend credit responsibly, payment systems that work around the clock, and it will also require a monetary and financial framework that keeps inflation low and the currency stable.
On his part, the presidential advisor on the 24-hour economy policy, Gusitano, on the sidelines of the workshop, highlights the distribution of various industries across the country.
The creation of the Volta Economic Corridor, which will be the main area in which the 24-hour program will be rolled out. That doesn't mean that it's only the Volta Economic Corridor, that there will be projects under the 24-hour economy for the economic transformation of Ghana. There will be projects in the Bono region, in the Central region, Western, North, and so on. But the main thrust is the Volta Economic Corridor because it has water, it has land, it has connectivity, and potentially also it has all the radiation we require to develop solar energy.
The workshop was attended by government officials, the civil service, academia, private sector players, among others.
The Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, is cautioning transport operators and commuters to prepare for an expected increase in petroleum product prices beginning September 16, 2025. According to the Chamber, the anticipated price hike is driven primarily by the depreciation of the Ghana cedi, which is expected to impact pump prices in the second pricing window of September. Speaking at COMAC's Petroleum Fun Games here in Accra, Dr. Riverson Opong, Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber, urged consumers to brace up to pay more at the pumps.
Our pricing outlook is out, and we've seen some increase. We are still waiting for the floor price to determine what variables is changing. But from the outlook, you already see that the cedi has depreciated a bit, which will obviously affect the pricing from Monday. The energy sector is one of the sectors in every country I've ever been to or ever lived that contributes so much to the economy of the country. But it is a bit dicey in the country where we live, called Ghana. We are looking forward to having very solid and comprehensive, I would say, policies that would work and make sure that the energy sector is paying for itself, paying its dues, and even contribute to the economy of the country.
And that's all the business news you've got for you this evening. Sports news is next.
The Business Brief.
Oak Masood Didi Dramani says Premier League debutants Hoho United were lucky to pick a point in their Ghana Premier League season opener at the Accra Sports Stadium on September 12, 2025.
They were lucky. So football, that's like it's part of it. Another team might not be lucky. Martin several times outwitted, got his 1v1s, and then still made the inch pass, and then if one goal goes in, they open up, and then the goal starts coming. If you are very clinical, it's normal. These aspects are so normal in the game that at a point the same team
Meanwhile, coach of Hohoe United, Raheem Abdul Tijani, says he is happy with a 0-0 draw and was pleased with his team's approach. Coach Tijani also revealed that it's his team's target to survive the league.
That we
We've got entertainment news next. That time of the year again, where all roads lead to Nkroful, the hometown of Ghana's first president, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We take you back to our last year's journey to Nkroful.
Journey to Nkroful is the brainchild of the Member of Parliament for Elembele and the Nkroful Youth Association. The week-long festival meant to draw attention to the tourism potential of the birthplace of Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, as a means of keeping his memory alive, was started in 2023. Speaking at the launch of the second edition, the MP, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, urged Ghanaians to reflect on the principles of Kwame Nkrumah as those are still relevant. Also addressing the gathering, the chief of Nkroful, Nana Kwesi Kutia I, praised the MP for the area and described him as a reincarnation of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He urged well-meaning Ghanaians to patronize the event scheduled for 16 to 22nd September this year.
But let me acknowledge the effort of Honorable Amakofi-Boa. I heard the MC saying that this man is not just an MP of Elembele. I see him as another Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. I see him as somebody who would bear the light of Ghana some other day.
Historian and leading member of the Convention People's Party on his part recounted some of the achievements of Kwame Nkrumah.
This was something that the Belgians did in Congo, giving preference to the Tutsi people as against the interests of the majority. That was the Hutus. And we know what happened to them in the early 90s. That disparity in education, in government jobs, brought about a civil war. Ghana would have suffered the same fate, but for Kwame Nkrumah.
Activities earmarked for this year's journey to Nkroful include clean-up exercises, public lecture, people's assembly, and a candlelight procession to commemorate the birthday of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Well, on the back of this, let's now speak with Abeku Santana, the Deputy CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority. Good evening to you, and thank you for joining us here on News Tonight. Now, this year's theme is celebrating Nkrumah's enduring impact. Could you share with me what exactly informed this theme beyond the fact that it's his hometown?
Well, thank you so much for having me on your esteemed channel. Yes, as you know, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is the millennium personality of Africa. having contributed to the liberation of Africa's independence, not only the independence of Ghana, as he declared on the eve of Ghana's Independence Day on the 5th of March, that the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it's linked up with the total liberation of Africa. His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, during the 2024 campaign era, visited the people of Nzimaland and Nkrofo, to be precise, and promised them that when Ghanaians give him the mandate to become the president, one of the legacies of Nkrumah that he will restore is Nkrumah's birthday, which was stripped out from our national holiday. The 21st of September is a holiday that has been recognized not only in Ghana, but the AU level. So it's a day that is set aside at the African Union level among member states or countries that have also contributed to African liberation. As we know, in 1965, Osagyefo, together with Haile Selassie, Jomo Kenyatta, Kamuzu Banda, Sekou Touré, and Abdul Gamer Nasser, founded the Organization of African Unity, which today has become African Union. So it is important that we restore the legacy of Nkrumah as we have been celebrating in the past. Professor John Evans Atta Mills of blessed memory instituted Atta Mills' birthday as a national holiday. And unfortunately, the previous administration scrapped it off, replacing 4th August as Founders' Day. But we all know the history that we have read, that accounts to independence. In 1956, Nkrumah stood at the National Assembly and fought for today what has made us a sovereign state. So His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's promise of restoring the legacy of Nkrumah and celebrating his birthday has brought what we call a journey to Nkrofo. Hitherto, Honorable Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, the Member of Parliament for Elembele constituency, who is also the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, together with the people of Nzimaland, had been celebrating what they call Nkrumah Fest. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama proposed what we call a journey to Nkrofo. So Nkrumah Fest was a celebration or an event that recognizes the legacy, the ideals, the vision, and also bringing people to the birthplace of Nkrumah. As we know, in 1992, the remains of Osagyefo was exhumed from Nkrofo and brought to Accra, where today we have the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. The second burial place of Osagyefo was his hometown, which is Nkrofo. He was first buried in 1970.
Now, Abeku, briefly, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but for purposes of time, if you could just let us know what we should expect this year, just in under a minute, please.
So starting on the 15th, there's going to be a football gala, symposium, a health screening exercise, candlelight procession, then Deba of Chiefs and People on Saturday, then the grand celebration, a musical concert for the remembrance of the 115th birthday of Osagyefo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The musical concert will be graced by our notable artists like Keche and Dope Nation, Kofi Kinata, legendary Jiduble Ambule, Freddie Mewe is coming from Cote d'Ivoire. We also have gospel artists like PSA Esther and Obapa Christie, Nasi Jakalolome. So all road leads to Nkrofo coming weekend. All road leads to Nkrofo for the celebration and also appreciating the legacy of Osagyefo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Abeku Santana, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Looking forward to that later this year. Now, the United Nations General Assembly voted overwhelmingly to support a two-state solution to the Israel-Palestinian conflict and urge Israel to commit to a Palestinian state, which Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vehemently opposes. The 193-member world body approved a non-binding resolution endorsing the New York Declaration, which sets to a phased plan to end the nearly 80-year conflict. The vote was 142-10 with And on that note, we draw the curtains on News Tonight here on GH1 TV. We've got lots more international and local stories available on our website, starfm.com.gh. It was produced by Calvin Powell. I'm Natalia. Have a wonderful evening.